Okay, let's keep going with the plan here. We just added in the MBA, and it obviously killed us. We're losing money here. Cash flow is negative, so that's not good. We also put in expenses here that were a little incorrect, and we added some stuff. So let's fix this real quick. In 2016, 2017, 2018, and until 2019, he doesn't have to make any payments. Now, I inadvertently put payments in here, so we're going to take the payments out, and then we're going to say that this cell over here in 2019 is when the payments are going to start. So this cell equals the payment times 12, enter, and that cell is the one that goes forward. It does not go in here, so we can get rid of this. This isn't negative here, so that should help our cash flow. We still have an awful lot of expenses here that are negative, so something has changed. Let's see what's going on here. This equals that times 12. So this number is this number times 12. So it does include the student loan that's not there. So we need to change that. So this number now equals, we should do this, is the sum, parentheses, of all of these expenses here, in parentheses, and now we're back to positive cash flow. So that can be drug across each one of these, and now we'll see a more consistent number. So we're okay here in our cash flow. We're just not okay here in our cash flow. So we'll get to that in a minute. The other thing is the student loan, 329, we are paying on that already. So this actually has to be in here. So this equals this number times 12 equals, and this number is in here. Yeah, that's where we were before. So that's this. We're barely making it, and we've got a couple extra bucks. Now remember, we also have a cushion here. We've put 2,400 into our 401k. So there's some savings here. So balancing the budget here isn't saving nothing. You're saving $200 a month, even though you're balancing your budget to just about even. We also have a cushion of $6,000 in our checking, $2,600 in savings. We could always dump our collectibles, and we do have a 401k that balances building. Okay, so the other thing I've done is I've come down here to the liability section. Here's your liabilities, your first student loan, 2 credit cards, which we paid off earlier because of our decision making, and then our other student loan, this is the MBA. In fact, I'm just going to label that MBA in here so we're sure which one we're talking about. So I've put a couple things in here. One, I finished the amortization table so you know exactly what your balance is every year. The second thing is, the first year you're going to be borrowing 20, the second year you're borrowing 40. Even though you're not making payment yet, you're borrowing that amount of money. So 20 the first year, 20 the second year for your MBA, and then it starts going down as you start making payments. So I've put that in there because it will affect your net worth, and you obviously are still on the hook for the money even if you don't finish the program. So make sure you study in your MBA program. Okay, so now we can go back to what we're going to do next. So we've got an MBA in there. It doesn't quite work. You can see how the plan doesn't work. You cash flow negative. You're not able to make your bills. But the other thing we're going to throw in is a car. So the person, Doug, the person who's doing this, doesn't care about his car much, which is good. The thing that you've got to consider here is, do we buy him a small car that is very inexpensive payment, say $150 a month payment for a small car that could work, maybe a Honda Fit, a Honda Civic, something like that, and you can get one probably for $150 or maybe even $200 a month. And the other thing with that, of course, is there's going to be insurance. So auto maintenance, he's paying $500 a year in auto maintenance. There's not going to be $500 worth of auto maintenance in a new car. But the insurance is probably going to be higher. I'd say it's probably going to be at least $1,000 a year in a new car. He's 20. He just turned 25 years old, so he does get a break on his insurance. And then, of course, the car payment. We don't have one. We would be adding one. So this is going to be a little different for him. Should we be buying a new car here? I don't know. I don't think so. So we can do a couple of different things on the car. It's 14 years old now. Maybe he can drive it for another couple years. So let's go and push it at least off this year into next year and say, okay, we're going to make the car, we can just grab the little hand thing and make the car over here and say, I need a car sooner or later. And we want the car to last, right? So I'm just going to suggest, a year from now, we'll have just a little bit more cash flow, $617 here, so let's just see if we can make this work, and say we buy him a car with a $200 car payment per month, a $200 car payment per month. So if we put 200 in here as a car payment, and we need to get rid of it for this year, so we're going to delete that year, and we're going to take this year's when we started. So this equals the car payment times 12, enter. And this car payment is the same. It doesn't go up with inflation. So this equals this cell, enter. And we're going to take this and drag this cell out. And this is going to go on at $200 for, let's say, a 5-year car payment. So this is 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And that's the end of the car payment. So this wasn't a very expensive car, obviously. So we've got that. This is 5,000, 10,000. That's not going to work, is it? It's going to be more like a $15,000 car. So we're going to say this is a 7-year car payment at $200 a month. That sounds more reasonable to a price of a car. And also our auto insurance is going to go up. So let's just say our auto insurance goes to $100 a month, and that goes up. It does not go up this month. So that $55, let's put it back at $55. Now remember, it doesn't go up this month. It goes up when the car comes up. So this is now, and there's a lot of ways you can do this. You can say that it goes up with inflation and so on and so forth. But now you got a little tricky thing here, so you have to think about this. It's $55 this time period. Now I could add an auto insurance row here. I can just say auto insurance 2 and add that. Or I could just say, well, this is only one cell. It's going to be $660. So I'm actually going to change the auto insurance here to 100 and let it be 100 going forward. Then I'm going to go back and just change this to $660 and hit enter. And then this is going to equal the monthly times 12. See how I did that? I left this one $660 because he doesn't have the car yet. Now he has the car, so the payments are going to be higher. So you just have to be careful now and watch where all this happens. The other thing you can do is just insert a line here and have 2 sets of payments. One would stop and one would keep going. So we see that in the car payment. There is no car payment here, but there is one here. So you can do it either way you want. So now we have a car payment in there. This year is fine because we don't have the car. Next year we're $1,783 short of where we're going to be able to pay our bills. That's not good. So we have to be thinking about what's going on there. But the car is in. So now we have our car. It's going to last us for years and years and years. And in fact, while you're doing this, I'm going to move this over so you can see what I'm thinking. So this is 2016. This car is going to last us, I'm going to say, because we don't care about our cars and it's a Honda and we're going to drive it forever, it's going to last us at least 10 years. So I'm going to say we need a new car. Where's our car? Here's our car in 2017. I'm not going to put another car in until I get to this. Will this drag easily? Yeah. Till 2027, I'm going to put car in here. So I'm going to let him go. I'm going to let Doug go from 2017 back here. For the next time he needs to be thinking about a car is 2027. And so that'll be our plan for cars for Doug, because that's all he cares about. So that's what we're going to put in the plan. So now we have to figure out what we're going to do to get off this $2,300 deficit. That's going to be an issue. And then, of course, we need to pick up this student loan deficit, which is going to be a problem. But we know this is coming. And then our net worth is going to be negative for quite a while. We know that because of the student loans. And then we have this other thing called a wedding to plan. That's going to be an issue too. So we can't control the wedding and we can't control the married yet. House and kids come later. But we need to get our handle around right now, what am I going to do when I get this car? Well, the first thing I'm thinking is if I'm getting my MBA program or starting my MBA program in 2017 and I'm getting a car, these are all expenses. I need a better job. So what I'm going to do up here is start looking for a better job, and I'm going to assume if I do the MBA and if I've got a new car, I've found a better job. So in 2016 here, I've got a $50,000 a year job, which is not a very good job. I mean, it's a good job, don't get me wrong, I'll take it, but I'm going to say I'm going to get a better job. And if I don't get a better job, I'll push off the MBA. I'll have a different plan. But right now, I'm saying in a year from now, I should be able to find a better job. I've got more work experience. I've signed up for an MBA program that'll show some employer experience. I've done some things to meet more people. I'm getting out there. I'm better at my job. I've gone from 25 to 26. I'm a little more adult. So I'm going to say I've got a better job, and I'm going to up this to $65,000 a year, which is a more realistic job, especially in the Bay Area, and I'm looking at $65,000 a year. Health insurance should be about the same. Still going to try to put $2,400 in my health in my 401k, and now I have take home a year as much more reasonable amount. And so now we look down here, and oh look, now I have extra money. That's nice. So this extra job here is very important. Obviously, I can see that. So I'm going to note that in the plan, that this plan is contingent upon getting a better job in 2017 that pays us an extra $15,000 a month, or $1,000 a year. So now we have some extra money going on. And that extra money is after we've paid a new car payment and higher insurance, so we've already spent some of it. We can also take down some of this maintenance. You know, an older car has quite a bit of maintenance, but this new car has much less maintenance. So I would say that the maintenance here on this new car is going to be, oil change and stuff. So let's say $250 a year from here on out. I'm going to let that go for a while and just leave that alone, because it looks like it's pretty close to being right. I'm going through this and I see I got $6,000 here extra a year. That sounds a very positive thing to me. So I've got a really lean year here, and I finally get a little better job. I've got a little extra cushion. So we're going to put a little bit more money into the things that we normally haven't in the past. For example, I'm going to put a little bit more into Christmas gifts, family gifts, and doing a little bit more. I'm going to say I'm going to put $500 into that. And that'll reduce it down a little bit. Utilities, restaurants, and going out, I'm going to go out a little bit more. So I'm going to put, what would this be? This would be, say, $100 a month. And going out would be $1,200. We're not going to do it this month. We're going to do it. Actually, you know what? You can do it this way too. See, this is C23 times 12. You can just take this, drag this over here. Whoops. And all of these things are reference errors. Go back to C23 and do $sign, enter, and drag this over here, and everything else will be fine. So when you start to think of what you're going to be spending going out, you can reference it that way. Now there's another way to do this if you want to do this, is instead of doing all that, I'm going to get rid of all this and say this is C23 times 12, and then this is D23 times inflation. So we like the inflation number going forward. I'm just going to change this D23 to get rid of the D23 and put it in there as C23 times 12, and put that in parentheses. Whoops, I don't have all the parentheses in there. Enter, and now I have a number. I can get the 1200 out of there, and I can see that it's 1236. in the second year. So there you go. I got rid of it that way too. You might have to review that to see how it goes on. So I've got a lean year, and now I got a better year. I've still got $4,645 going on. I've got $2,400 going into my 401k. It sounds like this job I can save some money, which we like. So we've got some money going into our checking account here. So let's see how our checking account is going. Oh, it's 6,000 this year. It's 10,000 this year. Oh, I like that. That's going pretty good. Up to 16,000 this year with the savings. So we're saving some money here. It's going too much in our checking account. Obviously, we're going to move this to savings at one point. But you can see what the path is to get through this. You've got to figure out what the amount of work you have to do to be able to afford the life you want to have, and then you make adjustments. And now you're making decisions, and you want to note this in your plan. So in this case, the decision we made was, if I can find a new job that pays $65,000 a year, then I can get a decent car. I mean, not a great car, but a decent car. A couple $100 a month payment. I can increase a little bit on the auto insurance and the payment, and then I can pursue my MBA because it sounds like a reasonable thing to do at that point. I've got some cushion. I've got a better job. Maybe even my firm will offset some of the cost of the MBA. That would be great. So these are the kinds of things that you want to make a decision for with regard to your life. The next step, we have to worry about this married, wedding, kids, before we get to the house thing. So let's start the next video with that.